you call 1-888-968-5635 and we answer your questions. Now, today's topic, before anybody starts calling in, I wanted to talk about creating an understanding, therefore creating an influence. Most of you are trying to save your marriage or at least move it forward. And I'm currently in the middle with some of my men. We're teaching the Lords, that's what we call the men in the program, um, 30 steps to leadership, okay? Number 4 is incredibly important. Number 4 is this creating an understanding, i.e. an influence. And I wanted to just express why it's so important. And then I wanted to express what went down on the coaching call between Dennis and I, honey, trying to coach these men. And I want you to see why you're fucking up in your own relationship. Okay, now I have not told Catherine about this call, but when we gave
That's
this...
typical of the podcast. I'm learning about it right now.
That's right. Now this lesson, as we were doing this lesson, we wanted to express a few very key points. Number 1, if you don't understand your partner, i.e., okay, you are focused more on your own outcome, like what you need, okay? And if you, oh, by the way, this will, remember last week you said reality? Reality. It doesn't matter if my reality is real or not. You were talking about perception though. I'm calling it reality today. But
Sure.
You want to know how I feel, right?
Sure.
That reel did very, very well, by the way, when we put a reel out with that. Now, why is that important? See, if Catherine, in that explanation, if she doesn't understand my reality, there is no sphere of influence to go further, right? Meaning she won't even know what she's looking for to understand what I'm feeling. And therefore, if she wants it to go in a certain direction, she can't move it. So I was teaching this to these men and I was saying, like, why are you smiling like that?
Because I still can't get over how loud you talk when only one of your ears is
Oh
covered.
my gosh, I'm sorry.
You are so loud.
I'll take it off
Guys,
my ear a bit.
it's really difficult to have these over your ears. 2 ears makes you talk really loud, but apparently one ear. So I'm just smiling because he's so cute right now. He's yelling at you guys because one of his ears is covered.
All right, guys.
It's funny.
So here's why this is important. Okay.
Sphere of influence, reality.
That's right. Most of the time, what we try to do is, let's say your partner brings you a need. What do? You start to get more defensive, right? You're initially going to take something, say, personal. Like the example I first started, still talking loud, aren't I? The example I first I started to use was the example I started to use was simple. It was, let's say your wife says you're working too much. Okay, this happens a lot.
I've said that a lot.
You have, yeah. If your first
Because
reaction
it's
is
true.
because, well, I have to get more, or I need to make the money, or we have goals. You said we wanted to buy this or that, or whatever, and you don't create an understanding, therefore you can't create an influence.
Also, most of you aren't responding that way. You're saying, well, you spend all the money. If you didn't buy this, I wouldn't have to work so much. If you didn't do this, if you didn't put the kids in this without asking me, I wouldn't have to work so much. Most of you get a lot more defensive than what he just said.
Correct. And so I was trying to go through several different examples. By the way, I put a reel out on this last night as well. And I said, like, you start jumping the gun. What if you tried to get an understanding, like get an idea of what the reality is? So what if Catherine wasn't saying you work too much? What if what she's saying is, I really want you home. I want to fuck you. Okay. I would never have got to that point because I'm sitting there defending myself because I didn't want to create an understanding. Why is this important for influence? Well, if you want more and you want to go somewhere, the reason why that's such an easy, good example is because then, well, obviously I would love to do that. That would be a fun thing to do.
So if you didn't defend yourself, you might have gotten there.
You might have got laid, right? And so.
But women, if you would say something like, I miss you.
Yes.
I just feel so lonely without you.
But,
right? That's way better than you work too much.
That's right. Well, and see.
I feel lonely when you're not here, baby.
Yeah.
I miss going on dates with you. That's what I learned to do.
Yes.
I started out doing it the wrong way.
The wrong way. But see, more than likely your partner's not saying, I want to fuck, okay, when they say that. The reality behind it is probably like, I'm overwhelmed with the children or whatever the thing is. But
she just misses you.
Maybe it's just that. I just miss you. Like, but we get into this state where we don't want to understand, therefore, we can never influence the direction we want to go. And as I was teaching the men, you know, I said, once I was done teaching, I said, what I would like you to do is think of an example where you reacted instead of responded, where you could have asked questions with curiosity to understand their reality, your wife's reality. And the men, they're at first, all that really happened was they well, first of all, they went right to sex. And like,
So did you though in your example.
I know, but they went right to it, and they weren't talking though about like what they could have done to do differently. They were talking more about like, well, a bunch of nonsense. And how this went was it ended up being a bunch of people ignoring
Men.
the men. Sorry, men. Women would never have done this, but
No, obviously not, ladies.
the men started putting up their hands and giving
So
their.
sassy.
Well, I love it. The men started putting up their hands and started talking about different scenarios in their life that they needed help in. Okay, the question was simple. Who can tell me a scenario where they reacted instead of where they could have maybe used curiosity to understand their partner more, learn with the reality, and they started to make it all about them. The exact lesson that I trained them on in the moment, like real time, teaching you when you do this, you're making it personal. You're making it all about you. The problem in relationships with not understanding where your partner's coming from is if it's only about you, you can't say partner. You can't. So I don't care if they're rejecting you. I don't care if they're yelling at you. I don't care if they're kicking you in the nuts.
You're a
I
sole proprietor, dude.
don't-
Sole prop, 100%.
That's the you're witty today. That's the thing. The point I was trying to make. If we think about leadership, by the way, that we know that we like to say men are the leaders, but if you hear Catherine and I speak about it, Catherine leads me in areas where she has wicked strengths. But also, we'll talk about her being the booster, me being the rocket, where she lifts me into space, so to speak. You know, like.
Oh, I'll lift you into space. All right.
Oh, yeah. My point is that we spend so much time focused on what we want, getting defensive, blaming our partner, whatever it is, that we don't create an understanding. If you're the one watching, you're the one leading. If you're the one who wants more, you're the one leading. If you're the one who's in, you're the one leading. If you're the one who needs to get curious because they don't care how you fucking feel, well, then get curious, because until they ask you what's going on with you and how you feel, they don't care. That's the problem. When we started to realize that, we learned that we had to lift each other, okay? And it was one in, one out, push, pull. I call it the hokey pokey, and it was a fucking nightmare.
Put your right foot in.
Yeah.
Put your right
And we
foot
teach
in.
you this stuff because we want you to move forward faster. All right, call 1-888-968-5635 and get your questions answered, guys. Especially if you want to talk about this that we're talking about right now.
Where is everybody? I don't even see anybody in the chat today.
Yeah, I don't either.
Wakey, wakey.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Guys,
sleeping.
we are international marriage coaches. We're authors, we're public speakers. Okay, I'm even writing songs now. New songs dropping tonight at 7 p.m. Central, I think, called Invisible to You. And yeah, we are literally using our life and putting it into a way to connect with you with songs. And that's on YouTube, Cass Foster Morrow, or look for Morrow Marriage. You'll find a playlist section, look for Disrupting Divorce, the album. But we're putting our life out in the world the way we have on written posts, on reels, on our podcast, but now in songs, and they're fucking good.
They're really good.
They're good, but they're I'll tell you, some of them are a little bit long because I'm trying to keep everything into that topic, and of course you can never keep everything into one topic.
No.
But into one compacted thing. But in the words of Mark Twain, I could make it shorter, but it would take longer, and we want to connect with you guys.
This guy. Didn't know who Mark Twain was a month ago. He loves to learn.
A month ago, I knew who Mark Twain was.
You did?
I don't know what he's written though,
Oh, okay.
but I know he's an author.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know who Mark Twain is.
well, he's an author.
You're quoting him, but I don't know who he is.
I got that from James. James got me on with when he's because I wrote a song like a tribute to Catherine. That's like 13 days from now, and you get to hear that one. But it's a long song, but it's like a lot of gratitude,
Oh.
a lot of gratitude for my wife. Guys, call 1-888-968-5635. I know you don't have a perfect marriage because we're showing up in your news feed wherever you're watching, whether it's Facebook, my personal profile, or my business profile, Morrow Marriage, or whether it's YouTube, Cass Foster Morrow, or whether it's LinkedIn. Unfortunately, I don't know how to get Instagram working. It's just not working. Or
Oh,
TikTok.
Micah says, hello, Cass and Catherine.
Hello, Micah. Micah
Brittany,
is awesome.
how to deal with a lustful man that is always looking at
Oh
women online.
my gosh, I'm so glad you brought that up. I have a song coming out for that in like 2 days.
Brittany, I'm sorry that he's doing that.
Yeah, go for it.
Punch him punch him.
Punch him.
No,
give her some real
no.
advice. Give her some real advice.
Oh, real advice. This is a really tough one because there's not anything that you can do. So if you go in and you start checking his phone, because the only way you know that is if you're checking his Instagram, you're checking his email, you're checking his history. That's the only way that you would know, because if you didn't see it, you wouldn't know. So the first thing is that you need to just take a step back and forget about what he's doing and concentrate more on what you're doing. Now, I just want to have a small disclaimer here. It doesn't matter what you do or don't do. Your husband or your partner needs to have the core values that he wants to only have eyes for you. If he doesn't have that core value, then all you can do is influence. But the first thing is that you need to stop obsessing over it, stop checking it, stop looking at it, because it's only going to make you think worse thoughts than probably what's even happening. And now I agree. I don't check. I mean, we're logged into each other's social media because we use social media for business. But I don't need to go check and see what he's liking, what he's
I don't even use
on.
social media.
He doesn't. We have teams that do it.
I just use it for business.
But I don't have to go do that. Even if you did use it, I know for a fact that he's not doing that, so I don't have to look. Now, if he was doing it, would I be looking? I'm not sure. I'd probably have to react in a different way. I know respond instead of react, but there would be some reaction there. And I would probably end up having to have a conversation about core values, about what my husband is desiring, about what he's lacking in his life. Just because my husband is lacking something doesn't mean that it's something that I can fulfill. So just because your husband is looking at other girls in social media, it doesn't mean that you need to fulfill that role. That's a core value issue. He's the one that wants to go look at all these other women. I know that a lot of men do this, and I don't have a lot more advice other than that, because you just need to walk your path and strengthen yourself so that you stop looking. And then when you stop looking at him and you start looking in the direction that you need to go, he's going to start looking at where you're going and not looking all over there.
Yeah, so I would add to that, Brittany. Like, if you can understand that, it doesn't matter. I have a mega viral reel. One of the song that I'm thinking of that's really going to resonate with you that I wrote is called "You Don't Have to Fuck Someone to Cheat." That's the same when I write the post, and I say that down to things like texting, Instagram, DMing, looking at Instagram. I even talk about elevating my wife. I hate it when I'm out in public. Of course, people are going to look at her, but you see some pervert dude fucking elevating my wife.
Obviously elevating with me hand in hand, and he's with his wife.
Yeah, or his wife and children. Like, it's fucking...
It's gross.
So all of these things, I believe, are betrayal. Everything. And I'll even go further. Like, it's actually betraying the man that he wants to be. Okay? And so what I want you to understand is this. More to what Catherine is saying, if we don't develop and stand in our strength, okay, the person that's dealing with this, in this case you, Brittany, then what's going to happen is he won't have a person to follow. He is going to have to deal with your insecurity, and I think you even commented on that. Like,
he's commenting.
Yeah,
she's commenting.
Yeah. So, like, the moment that now he has a problem, it's kind of like what we talked about earlier. On the last or the beginning part of the episode.
So I want to just jump in here because listen to what she's saying. I feel insecure. He's always looking at porn as well and wants to have threesomes and wants that lifestyle. I struggle with that because I've been cheated on so many times. Girl, if you're not married, my advice right now is walk away.
Yeah.
If you're married and you have made that commitment, then you need to take a real hard look at what it is you signed up for and what he signed up for, because that you don't have to agree to anything like that. So if your husband wants to have threesomes and you don't, he wants to look at porn and you don't, he wants to look at other women and you don't want to be anything, you don't want to have anything to do with that, this is a betrayal. Now, I'm not saying that you have to leave. You probably love him very much. However, if you're not married, my advice is, if you're struggling with this, please leave. If you have kids, that does make it more difficult. Obviously, it's not as easy. It's not as cut and dry to just leave. But if you're not already married, did she write back at all?
I think so. I'm just
she
writing.
Says she loves all the reels.
Oh, yeah, good. I'm back. Brittany, I want to know, can you tell us, please? I know you're just chatting in here, but can you please tell us, are you married? And is it like, are you guys actively having sex? Like, is there intimacy? Because that could change a little bit of what we talked to you about.
I don't know how much of a delay there is in the chat.
I'm not sure.
You just typed that. How long did it take to come up?
I don't know.
10 seconds, 20 seconds. Yeah. So, I mean, even if you are, if you are being intimate, if you guys have a really intimate relationship, newsflash, it's actually not that intimate if he's doing all this on the side. So even if you're having fantastic sex and he's doing all these things, there's no actual intimacy there. It's probably just sex.
And he's looking for more.
And if you're not having sex with him, I mean, if you're married, most of the time you need to be having sex with your husband, ladies. There are going to be situations where you can't. There's abuse, there's trauma.
Yeah, we
They
struggle
with their
you-
sex life.
Brittany
That
struggles
doesn't
with
give
sex
him
life.
permission to go do everything else.
No,
I
it
want to just be
doesn't.
very clear
So
on that.
the reason why I was asking that question is because he's using, and this happens with women towards men too. Women will say, "Go, I don't care. I want to be with you, but I don't want to have sex with you. So go find somebody on the side, or let's open the marriage." It happens on both ways. We talked about it a lot on our podcast, actually, but it's.
I don't think Brittany's saying that, but I bet you she's like trying to give him what she needs.
Oh, yeah.
So she's considering these threesomes and allowing his porn.
And you
because she
should
doesn't know
never
what to do about it.
You should never sacrifice your core values. Never. I don't care if you're married or you're not married. Most people don't have core values. Most people try to keep the peace. Most people try to fawn or placate in a way until you can't, and you start to shut down.
Everybody
and
has
pull back.
core values. It's just they need to identify what those are. But if
Well, okay, yeah, fair. But
they
regardless,
might not have written them down.
regardless,
but everybody has things that are important
people
to them.
people consider things like this where you're trying to do it because you love him, right? When in reality is all of what we've talked about needs to be kind of wiped away, and you need to realize that you need to develop your strength because you need to be able to say, no, this isn't for me. I am insecure. And like long term, it's going to be really hard on the relationship, married or not, to move forward if he's doing things that specifically feed the monster, which is what I call insecurity. Okay?
Well, and she's feeding her monster. She's the one that's insecure.
Both,
as well.
both are, of course, right? So what I can tell you is this: I was a very, very insecure man, Brittany, and I had to learn to deal with that anxiety so I could make different decisions based on the man that I wanted to be. Now, the story is different in what we did with the insecurity, okay? But I don't think that matters. Insecurity clouds a person. Insecurity fogs you in the decision-making process. Insecurity, it makes you reactive, right? Because it feeds anxiety. Those usually feed something like sadness, depression, or anger, all secondary emotions. So you want to develop who you are. And that's why Catherine said, we don't want you looking at the phone. You can't have conversations. He knows the fucking rules of a relationship. He knows he's not supposed to be watching porn. And
Maybe he
texting.
doesn't. Maybe you've enabled it.
Well,
That's the thing. If someone's feeling super insecure because she's been cheated on a lot, so she wants to give him everything she needs.
guys, this is why it's really hard if you don't call 1-888-968-5635, because this could
Brittany,
go
can
in
you call in?
50 different directions based off your story.
Yeah, Brittany, call in,
Right?
please.
Yeah.
There's nobody in the queue right now. Go ahead and call in. We'll wait.
I'm going to keep talking.
Bill says yes.
Like the point is, guys, based off your insecurity, you're going to either enable, because like maybe he does or he doesn't know the rules of marriage. That's horseshit. Everybody fucking knows. Even if his dad had 19 affairs, his mom cried a lot. Okay, so like he knows that he's not supposed to be doing these things. Okay, so what you have to do is now you lead in your core values, and hopefully he'll figure that out. If not, you might end up asking him to join you a number of times without a stupid conversation, because the lecture ain't gonna help, right? And if he doesn't care about your feelings, i.e. he's doing all of these things that you're asking or talking about, you've had too many conversations, he doesn't care how you feel, he's talking about what he wants and he's doing what he can get away with, which means he could already be cheating too, not to feed your insecurity, but to keep it real and realistic, okay? So now you have to go back down to what will I do? How will I motivate with a boundary, right? And this is something I'm not comfortable talking to you about just on a one-sided text thing here, because it's a very strategic system that we use at Moral Marriage to inspire and motivate, actually motivate them to join you in growth and do things differently and better, okay? Guys, I'm gonna have to just keep talking, and I'll pick topics if we need to, but I'd rather involve
No,
you,
we need you guys to call in.
because otherwise it's really just it's a waste
And
of
Cass is
time.
going to yell for the next 90 minutes. We're sitting right next to me, guys. Call in.
My marriage is ending because I'm not emotionally supportive for my wife when I want to be. But I grew up in foster care and never had anyone explain emotions to me. So how do I get more emotionally supportive for my wife? Welcome to the Moral Marriage Podcast live, brother. All right. So you didn't give us your name.
Nil or NL?
I don't know. But I want to say this. The very first thing is you say because, right? I'm not emotionally supportive. That's good. You're starting to try to identify. Maybe that means you're even listening to her. But I want to pick up on something else here. But I never grew up and you start talking about the life that you had. Listen, nobody's growing up with great role models anymore, man. Nobody. In fact, we have to look at that as a justification. And what you have to say is, I need to learn how to be emotionally supportive, right? I want you to understand, dude, that everybody now, like, even if you look at some of the basic lessons we teach about parenting with our children, we still all do and repeat what our parents made us do. Even if you had shitty parents, if you did, or I think you said foster care, if you did something wrong, they would have made you make an apology. Nathan, thank you. Nathan, they would not have taught you that you need to understand what they're feeling, which is called empathy. Okay? So that's probably the very first thing. Again, you're not calling in, so it's really hard to have a conversation and help you. But excuse me, if you don't understand empathy, how can you be emotionally supportive? Meaning, when somebody needs emotional support, they need you to understand them. That's like what I was talking about earlier. People need to get an understanding. So I don't know if you caught the beginning of the live. You can watch it after, or this is going to go to our podcast, Moral Marriage, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever. And the point is, you need to start asking questions and get curious. You may not have empathy. I don't. I have like zero empathy. I tricked myself to understand empathy by asking questions, learning what Catherine feels. And then what I do is, if I don't understand the situation, I'll give you an example. If an animal dies, this week we had a bad one.
Gosh.
We had a goat that Catherine loved died.
Very sad week.
That doesn't affect me like at all, okay? But she doesn't feel that. She knows that how my brain works and my heart works. But Nathan, what I do is I'll relate that to something. For me, this is going to sound terrible because Catherine is not a goat. But for me to understand death, I have to understand losing her, for example. Okay? So I have to think about that for a second.
Has to be extreme.
I have to be extreme
So
in how
I
it
cry
affects
about
me.
my goat. So for him to understand that, he has to think about something like the worst possible thing. He can then
That's happening to me, so that I can try to relate the
to
emotion
what I'm going through.
to what she's going through.
Yes.
Now, if you have empathy, because most people have at least a semblance of empathy, then I want you to get curious so you can make sure you understand the feelings behind what she's going through. I mean, emotional support is actually pretty cool. If you're not defensive and you actually care about your partner, you can give them so much, so fast. And a lot of times, Nathan, people think I don't know how bad, because you're not calling in, I don't know how bad your marriage is. But if I always believe this, the worse it is, the better and faster opportunity you have to show up differently. That doesn't mean she's going to believe you faster or he's going to believe you faster, okay? But it does mean that you can believe in yourself faster, okay? And if we remove the justifications or the excuses, like I didn't have a good role model is really the one that I would use to summarize the way you described it. Just remember, nobody does. Like, we all are taught the wrong way. We all see television and movies. We all see, I mean, fuck, you can't even watch a movie where there's an interaction where it's almost like no affair. Like, there's always an affair now. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's not even real. People like poor Brittany, who's so insecure with her husband, the shit that's going on is betrayal. We don't know if he's having an affair, but it's only 23% of married people are having an affair. You know what I mean? Sorry, married men.
Brittany's on the line, baby.
No,
So
I got it
let her
wrong.
in.
That's okay, let her in. 19% of men have affairs in a marriage and 13% women. So how the fuck does everybody think their partner's having an affair? Like, people got to get educated, right? I think we actually have Brittany. Brittany, are you back?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks
We're
for
so
calling
glad.
in. It
Thanks
makes
for
it so
calling
much more
in.
helpful.
So
I
tell us
love all
what's-
your guys' reels, and I watch it all the time, and I've sent a lot of it to my husband lately because we were having issues, and he's actually working out of town, and I've always had issues with being insecure, and I've been with him for married 10 years, but been together for 13, and I've been through a lot with him and stuck through his side through all of it, and had my heart broken a lot of times and cheated on and found out, and it's hard for me, I guess, to get over a lot of that stuff and put it in the past, and I'm looking through his phone sometimes and feel like I shouldn't, or he gets mad, or I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Well, the very first thing, Brittany, that I'd like to tell you, because I mean, I feel like I was probably the most insecure person that ever lived. That's what I really
pretty
believe.
Insecure.
Pardon me, babe?
You were pretty insecure.
I was extremely, like, I would question
I am probably
everything.
the most loyal woman who ever lived. And you
Yeah.
were even insecure in our marriage, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I had
And
to learn a little bit though when it came to behaviors and stuff, but I was 100% loyal.
so, oh yeah, and I know that now. But
Mm-hmm.
like the thing is, when we have to or we want to address insecurity, I want you to realize that this is the biggest gift you could ever have is to lift this label off of you. It is just a label. You just get to peel that fucker away. But the only thing is, it's got a lot of glue right now because you're used to, excuse me, Brittany, supporting all of the behavior that feeds the monster. Right? Like
Right.
by looking at his phone, for example. And a lot of times what we do is we'll justify it. I didn't have anything with Catherine really. So I would dig deep into like her behaviors and try to like point out how she wasn't loving me enough and make it her fault that way. I don't know if that's you because you're able to say, well, listen, I know you're watching porn or listen, I see your Instagram, right?
That's what he says, but I don't give
Yeah.
him enough attention or affection. And he said, I work and I provide and I do all this, but I don't, and I do and I want to, and I try to do what I can, and it just seems like it's never enough.
Do you know something? I have a song coming out tomorrow called "You're the Weapon," and it's exactly about that. Men think they're providing financially, and they want to get fucking laid. They think they're being punished. You're withholding, and you're using sex as a weapon. In reality, that the biggest thing. This is awesome that you called in because remember when Catherine said to you earlier, we want you to stand in your strength, not do things that support pushing him away, but we want you to learn to love him in a way. I know you have to deal with your insecurity, but in a way that causes him to look deeper. Because knowing what we know now, well, most men don't. That's why we have jobs. But like providing financially is shit. Like one of the very first lessons that men learn in my program is, well, like even just taking care of the home when she leaves, you'll have to do it yourself. So get off your fucking ass. You don't get laid because you do the dishes.
Also, let
You
me
know what I
jump
mean?
in. So, Brittany, this sounds like a
Also
really
what?
tough situation, but, and I guess, when he, like you said, it never seems like enough. I do all these things and it's never enough. One of the things that my husband taught me was that if he's not receiving you, you're doing it wrong. Now, that's going to sound harsh. And when my husband taught me that, he was way too harsh, but it's real. If I'm doing something, if I'm telling my husband something, if I'm doing it in a way that he doesn't receive it, that's why I'm touching him right now. If he doesn't receive it, I'm doing it wrong. So if you are going to the ends of the earth, in your opinion, in your perspective for your husband, and he's not receiving it, then you're doing it wrong. You need to try it differently because it shouldn't be exhausting. Loving my husband borders on exhausting. We have different love languages.
I have a lot of
Okay.
needs.
And so he has a lot of needs. But his needs are all wrapped up in me, which is the silver lining. That's the blessing. So for your husband, it might seem a little bit exhausting, but it gets less exhausting when you can realize what it is your husband needs and do it in the way that he needs.
Now,
Because if you're giving him if you give someone a Christmas gift, one time I got a crock pot. I was like 16. Thank you for the crock pot, right? That person thought that they were giving me what I might like. I never cooked anything except for macaroni and cheese. And I got a crock pot at 16? What in the world? So that's the same thing where you give your husband whatever you think he needs, but what he needs is physical touch. What he needs is edification, affirmation. He needs maybe more cuddles. I don't know what he needs. I'm just telling you what my husband
well,
needs.
it's going to be a lot to do with sexual.
He doesn't need a crock pot.
which
Is
could
the
be
point.
part.
That's
But
I think that's what it is. That's a lot of sexual. I feel like
it is.
that-
But what he actually needs is to learn his identity beyond a fucking vagina. What I was saying earlier was, men are they think providing is their job and it's done, but what about emotional support? Providing emotional support. What about spiritual support? What about sexual
Right.
support? What about, which by the way, for those of you who do care, like even if you, Brittany, don't want to have sex with your husband, he can be flirting differently. He could be trying to reach you non-sexually with flirting, right? Catherine will say it's so fun when there's non-sexual flirting, right? Like, although I like
Right.
the sexual flirting better.
You do, yeah.
But a lot of men get all butthurt because I talked to a man this week. He was like, oh, yeah, she flirts and it's all like we're going to have sex and then she doesn't want to. And I'm like, well, what about all these other things? Physical. You're supposed to provide physical safety. I bet you your husband that is watching all this porn, that is watching shit on Instagram, is talking about swinging. I bet you he's pacing when he's frustrated and talking to you about why he needs sex. Talking about how he provides so much. How is any of that a fucking turn on? So the challenge for you is, if we know he needs sex, we actually know you as a wife have to lift him in a way that he understands. A vagina isn't food or water or air. A vagina or rather being connected to you and sharing your bodies together, comes from the kind of man that feels like he's good enough. Right now, he doesn't feel like he's good enough because you don't want him. So he's coping with this shit. Maybe he's also drinking. Maybe he leaves and he works more so that he can build himself up saying, I'm doing all these things right, that I need to drink. I need to watch porn. I'm working so hard. He might even say he's a great dad. It's a very common line that comes out of people's mouth, men's mouths, right? But none of that's
Right.
the reality. So how do you lift him, Brittany? Well, you need to lead by example. If he's going to sit there and do nothing, you didn't say he drank, but he's at least spending hours watching bullshit. And by the way, people watching porn, watch it at work. There's studies. It's crazy how many people do it, right? Same with
Well,
the
I
social.
think that's what ruins a lot of our sex life, because it ruins it. It's like the same every time, or he expects the same, or if I don't start it, or I don't. It's just I'm always getting blamed for something, and it's frustrating.
Because so what happens is people blame because they don't feel good enough about themselves. I'll give you an example. If you got to a point where you grew into the woman you were created to be, and you were doing all this stuff like lifting the way Catherine was talking about, gratitude the way Catherine was talking about, even touching his face, flirting, all this stuff, but having a real conversation about the real issue. I don't want to talk about sex. Sex is a symptom. I'm feeling disconnected because of these things, right? See, people don't inherently talk about the real things. You get yourself to a point where this won't work for you because your values won't allow this. I mean, he might need a rock bottom to realize that you're not going to put up with this for your whole life. You know, now, that being said,
Tried to tell him that too.
yeah, but telling him that when you're insecure and challenging him and making him feel worse about himself, guilt and shame will never make someone feel better. Just because he's doing something wrong doesn't mean you're doing everything right. Focus on what you can do right.
Yeah, and you telling him,
Okay.
he's not going to listen to anything that you say because he doesn't care. So you have to show, you have to be. Telling him is not going to work.
Unfortunately, you think it would because you're talking about obvious rules of marriage, but unfortunately, that's not the case. You know, I didn't use porn a lot, Brittany, but one time Catherine went to sleep. She was tired of me ranting and raging, I guess. And so I went to the table and I did my thing with the screen, and she woke up and she did it all wrong.
Lost it.
Lost her shit. So I share that story with you because that wasn't what changed things in my mind. Now, I didn't struggle with that shit. Your husband is not just in a state of like a what they call a porn prediction, a porn addiction. That's prediction. Your husband is actually using anything he can to find validation in himself. So knowing that, I want you to realize something today, and this is going to be really, really powerful for you, okay? You both have insecurity. He's just insecure about not having you. So
that makes sense.
yes, it's really what's happening. Because no confident man who loves his wife needs to go fucking feel validation from some woman at Starbucks because she smiled, or elevator my wife, or fucking watch porn and look at Instagram. No confidence. Some strong ass man needs that shit because he's gonna go right home, connect with his wife, and then that's what my wife says: connect and fuck. Well, actually, she says we learned she's actually more like fuck
and then connect.
and then connect. But I'm connect and fuck. See, there's a difference, but we can find a page there. You see?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, I think we've got another caller here, but what I want to do is I just want to make sure that you remember the highlights, okay? You got to stand in the woman that you want to be. That means I know right now it's hard to feel grateful, but he's even telling you, I provide. I know that's not enough, but I mean, Catherine will teach that lesson all the time, right? Most people don't thank people for the normal baseline things that we should or that we have to do, right? Thank him for going to work. Thank you. Thank him. Find those times when he's doing something right. Nobody's doing everything wrong. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody. Even if he's doing everything wrong towards you, how's he treating someone else? Give him gratitude for that. I just love seeing the way that you blah, 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 blah. Thank you. That's a cool that's the affirmation Catherine was talking about. That's a cool representation of a husband or something, whatever your language would be. You know what I mean? Start finding some things. And then for your insecurity, you got to start getting a control of the anxiety. So the very first step, I don't want to overwhelm you. The very first step is not support it. Don't go look at his phone. Don't check Friend Finder. Don't ask questions about what he's doing, and don't have talks about the symptom. The symptom is the stuff he's doing, the actions. That's guilting and
Okay.
shaming a person will never move. You can't build positive from negative. You'll never move it forward,
Okay.
right? You can only build positive from positive, which is going to be hard for you right now. But you call in, so you
Yes.
love them and you want to keep your family together, right?
That's right. I'm trying. I work at it, and I do try to build him up, and I do try to be positive, but it is hard.
It's hard. I think the foundation for pretty much everything that I teach, and I don't teach all the women, but it's you got to learn how to deal with rejection. Don't take it so personal. He has a problem feeling good about himself, which means he's insecure. The feeling of not being wanted makes him feel like he's emasculated, like he's not a man, right? And so he doesn't
Right.
feel good enough about himself. And so it's gotten to a point where he's now angry, frustrated, coping. This is not his behavior, Brittany. This is people's behavior. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense? It doesn't
Yes,
make it
that makes
okay. It doesn't make it okay, but you can only be focused on your growth, you know?
Right.
Okay?
I agree. Okay.
All right. Enjoy talking to you, Brittany. Thanks for calling.
All
Bye,
right.
Brittany.
Thank y'all so
Thanks
much.
for calling in.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right, guys. You guys call 1-888-968-5635 and we'll take your questions. International marriage coaches, authors, public speakers, now songwriters relating to you from the marriage problems that you have so we can help you. We're going to bring Kyle on here.
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Kyle, welcome. How you doing, dude?
Oh, I'm a little bit better than the last time I talked to you, that's for sure.
Is this my Kyle? It is. It says program advancement there.
Yes, sir. The one that I just talked to you on the 26th of March.
Oh man, I talked to like four Kyles that day, dude. Give me
My little girl's birthday. Kyle
Girl,
Cheatham.
what?
little girl's birthday. Yeah. Awesome,
It
man.
was my little girl's birthday, then I had to miss it.
Yeah, gosh.
That sucks.
Yeah.
How old?
Well, why don't you give a little bit of background so
She
Catherine
turned
can hear it
3,
too, Kyle?
How old? Sorry.
She turned 4.
Oh, I feel like I heard this story. I think I might have been in the. Was this on a coaching call?
No. This was.
Yeah, you were in the background.
Yeah.
That was. Yeah, I heard it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Why don't you give everybody a little bit of background though, Kyle, or maybe even start with your question and then give us the background.
Okay. Well, my question was for you guys. I was getting ready to buy the books or whatever, and I have no way of getting my wife any kind of. I still haven't had no communication or anything with her or the kids. So I was wondering if maybe you guys would send the woman's book to her for me.
Well, I would not, and I'll tell you why. It's not because I won't. I think like it's kind of like when people send reels to their partner. It actually seems
Right.
passive aggressive. So there's a theory that I have. I don't know that I've heard this anywhere else. A lot of my shit's my own shit, but it's like when we say we want to do couples therapy, right? Should we do couples therapy? Well, the moment you say I want to take responsibility for myself, but you need to do that well, you're adding and tagging blame to it, right? So I know
Okay.
you're trying to do it in a way to reach her, but you have to remind me. Do you have a restraining order? Or she's just blocking you.
No, yeah, she's just blocking me. Last night, she added me on Instagram or whatever the hell it was.
Okay,
Followed me or something, and
That's
I tried to
good.
get on there,
that's
and
positive.
I tried to get on there and talk to her, but she immediately unfollowed me and blocked me. And
Well, she's not ready to talk to you yet, right? So
Well, and she was hoping that you wouldn't see it. She just wanted to watch you.
yeah,
So
that's right.
You fucked up by sending her a message. She just wanted to watch you.
Check in and
Yeah,
see ya.
she wanted to see what you were doing.
I can't remember
You
because
scared
I
her.
talked to so many dudes, but did we talk about going on social media and being public with
we
being a
did.
great man? I thought so because whenever it makes sense because whenever you have a restraining order or somebody blocks you or they're just ignoring you completely, you have to publicly show the changes in your growth. Now you can't rush this; you have to be growing, or else you're a liar, right?
Right.
And most people who split believe their partner's full of shit. Okay, so
yeah,
you want to think about different things. I call it creating opportunities if you're in my program. Okay. So I'll give you an example. You could send a podcast episode that you like, right? Using that as an apology. And you could send that in the mail. if you have no digital way to talk to them?
I have no any way to talk to her.
Yeah. But my point is, we as men stop
Why
chasing.
can't you send it in the mail?
Actually,
have no
we don't know
idea
where
where
she
she's
lives,
at, man.
right? She took the kids and left, right? Yeah.
Yeah, she's
So, yeah.
just calling, and I thought she was part of your guys' program. That's kind of the reason I started it, but now that I'm in it, I'm gonna just keep going for it.
I think
She-
you go
she
for
might
it.
be part of our program.
Yeah,
If so, I don't know.
I can't
honestly
say it
don't know.
obviously live,
Right.
but she
Right.
might be. Does she have the same last name as you?
No, ma'am. Her last name is Perhusky
No,
Wiley.
no,
spelled-
don't do that.
Oh,
Don't do that.
sorry.
Don't do that.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
I forgot we're on live.
Yeah.
You're all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying she is or isn't a part of my program, but I'm glad that you joined thinking that she was. She obviously shared our stuff with you. That's how you found us.
She shared it on her Facebook. Said it was she was with you guys, and I started digging into it, watching videos, and then that's when I set up a call with Cass.
I think, yeah, and you know, you did the right thing. Like, the most important thing you could do is if she's not necessarily if she sends you a reel or a few reels, especially if she's sending reels from a lot of different, but if she's following and you can tell, we do this whole thing where we, like, you can't do this, but we would say, put our podcast on in the background, because then they'll see that you're learning and they'll hear. But if you know that your wife is following and believes in it, even if, especially if you think she might be in the program, you like can't afford not to do it. Like, you find the time, you find the money, you get into the program, right? Because
Honestly, that's kind of why I was hoping you guys would relay the book to her, and like it's just to help her out, because I
No,
know
dude,
she has
she
no
knows
money.
about
She's
the
got all
book.
4 kids.
If she
If
posted
she's-
our
I
stuff
know.
yeah, she's following.
and she
knows
says that
about it,
she's
yeah.
with us,
Yeah.
I'd be interested
Okay.
interested to know if she is. I can't tell you that, but I'd be interested to know for my own personal knowledge. But she would.
Right.
But the book is nothing. If she's in my program, the book is nothing compared to the program.
Okay.
So if she's claiming to be in my program, she doesn't need the book.
I can't say if she is or not. It was just one quick post that I was able to
Me neither.
see. And
Both of you stop talking about it.
Me neither.
Jeez Louise. I want you to think about something differently today. This is going to be the most important advice, okay, for you. I want you to think about you and the man that you're becoming. I felt your emotions when you were on the call with me. I could hear it, first of all, right? You were very vulnerable and you were very authentic and you want to do the work, and you are. So I don't want you to think about getting her to learn or getting in front of her to show her the new man yet. That's just where you're at in your story. You know, I had a restraining order at one point. We didn't get to really go for the new man there. You know what I mean? But what I had to do was start dealing. That was when I started to deal with my anger. Didn't even know that anger. The reason why I think anger management is not a problem is because, or is not helpful, is because that's not the problem. The anger was an outlet for my insecurity and my anxiety, right? And so we deal with what we need to deal with, the real thing, the real issue, and then we can start to see progress. This is why therapy doesn't work the same way. So you're in the right place, brother. I just want you to focus on being the man that you need to be, so that when you see her next, you're going to be able to act in the way that you want to, non-reactive, responsive, leading. Try to get understanding, like we were talking about earlier today. Does that make sense?
yeah, it does. It does. I'm scared that the next time I see her is going to be in front of a judge, and it's
It
not
might.
going to be.
It might be. And the whole cool thing about that is you get to show up. I actually think court's awesome, because when a man gets to show up, not acting like the typical man, and a judge can see he's being authentic, he's not trying to manipulate the judge likes that. Think about it. Most men will say what they have to say. Most women will say what they have to say, trying to manipulate the outcome, right? What
Right.
if you were just the new person and you could back it up? Oh, you're in a program like this? Anything that, I'm just going to go with worst case scenario, because we don't know, so I don't want you to go down a rabbit hole with this. What if she was saying bad things and making up a lot of bad shit and talking about some of the
She
bad
is,
shit
actually.
some of the bad shit that you actually did, okay? Well,
Yep.
we like a man who works hard in the program, and if we see that you're raising your hand, you're using it, we'll write a letter for you, and we have a backing. I mean, it's not just that we've been a Maxim in Forbes. It's like 8,000 couples in 4 years. Like, we're known. We have 1.5 million followers. Like, we can back you up But I promise you, Kyle, I won't do that if I don't believe in you. You have to be
All
ready.
right, I got you.
Me, Dennis, the guys, we have to know and believe in the changes, because we don't want you to
Yes,
do this
sir.
to if you use the program and everything you learn, anything, even podcast episodes, if you use it to get something from your partner, that's a covert contract, which means you're not trying
Right,
to
you're using it
change.
wrong. Yeah.
Yes. And we see that all the time. We have to smack guys. What did your coach say?
Metaphorical 2x4.
Yeah, smack you with a metaphorical.
We are the metaphorical 2x4.
Yeah, because
That's
We
funny.
shouldn't even say smack you with it. We just are the
Oh, yeah,
metaphorical
yeah.
2x4.
because the point
Whatever you
is,
take from that.
everybody comes to us to save their marriage, but I firmly believe that if that's the only reason, if you're not here to save yourself, and I mean that in a positive way for your marriage, okay? Meaning you
No, yeah,
apparently want to
definitely.
change for you, which I believe you do from our conversation.
I do. Yes, sir.
But if you don't, you might as well call a lawyer now, because changes aren't real if you're doing it for someone else. Right? So that's why I
Yep.
say make your changes real, then get ready to talk to her, even if it's in front of a judge, even if it's the man that's presenting himself. Okay?
I got you.
And be careful what you're
I got you.
posting, because even though she stopped following you and stopped, she ignored you, unless she blocked you, she's still checking out your page.
No, yeah. You know what? And people who do that, it doesn't mean that this is your wife. But if she followed and unfollowed you very quickly, people that do that could use their friend's account to look at your page too.
Or a fake.
Right.
Or a
Exactly.
fake account and things like that. So
Yeah.
and a lot of times there's bait. I'm not saying this is happening, okay? What I'm saying is I would lean on, see, most people don't realize this, but you got to find the good in everything. Assume the best, not the worst. We're trained to assume the worst. Man, she's interested, dude. Just chill. Stop there. Stop overthinking. Get back to work.
Bro, I'm horrible at the overthinking.
Every one of my guys are, man. Overthink. Instead of doing, even if it's doing something small today, but everything you do should move your tomorrow. Every decision you make is to decide what I'm doing to move my tomorrow. Okay?
Right. Got you.
Okay? We're going to let you go.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
We'll see you soon. Get your hand up on those calls.
Got you, man.
Okay? Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you.
Narcissistic abuse in marriage. Do I leave? Do I stay? Can it be fixed? Sarah, thank you for making it so easy to introduce you.
I try to be very upfront.
Yeah,
Forward.
good.
Thanks for taking the call.
It really helps, and it helps us get to people faster, right? So thank you. So I'm gonna say this: do I leave? Do I stay? Can it be fixed? If I don't know, are you a follower or are you kind of new to us?
Oh no, I follow. I actually had a phone appointment with your wife scheduled, and that day my husband decided to go off on one of his vendors and
Knockouts?
go off his wagon and just do his narcissist abuse thing that I like to call it now, because
Okay.
it's just become
Yeah, I'm
one of
sorry.
those things. So unfortunately, I had to miss the
I'm
call.
sorry
and I
you're
apologize for
going
that.
through that.
Did you log in with a fake name
Did I log in with a fake name where?
like when you made your
when you
appointment?
made your appointment with
Was
me?
it a fake name or a real name?
No, it was my real name.
You don't recognize the name?
I don't know Sarah, that name that she
Well,
has
she
up
didn't
there.
have the call with you.
We
I know, but it
haven't.
would've been
We
in my
didn't. We
calendar.
never got the chance to talk.
But I would have seen it in my calendar. There was someone that didn't show up for the appointment the other day, and it looks a little bit like your name,
Yeah.
but it's not the name. So I wondered if it was the same person. But
Well, I'm going to tell you this.
This
So
was probably a couple of weeks ago.
if you're following
at this
us,
point.
Sarah, then you know, or you have hope at least that it can be fixed and you can stay and that marriage can be rocking. I mean, I am a recovered narcissist, right?
Right.
However,
So I
there's-
guess I'm kind of waiting for a little bit of validation. I've been waiting for 10 years for certain things to change, and I'm starting
well,
to affect my children,
again, I'm
and I
writing-
don't know.
Yeah. I get it. Especially from our story, again, I'm writing all these songs now. There's another one releasing it in through 2 hours, I think, on YouTube. And I'm trying
I
to,
was looking for it, and that's how I realized you guys were actually going live, so that's why I jumped on.
yeah, I have it scheduled, I think, for 7 p.m. Central, but I've got some coming up talking about narcissism, but more specifically, more like, apology to Catherine, right? But I think people will still understand. But the point about it is, I think that we need to get to the nitty gritty here. Like, your husband has to want to change. I can't stand that people label a grown person with their conditions like narcissism. When if we looked at, I don't know your husband's story, but I can use mine for example. If you looked at the abuse that I went through from my parents and the way that they treated me, which by the way, I didn't even know was abuse, okay, until Catherine was like, huh, what? We would feel sorry for your husband when he was younger, and you probably know his history, but now we get stuck in the pain. So when you think, do I leave? The very first thing I want to say is, and then I want to turn it to
I
Catherine
stay because
she,
I know what he went through, and I feel for him, and I want him to get the help.
okay,
I
then
don't.
yes, that's what I was getting at. The very first thing we think of when we're going through something like this kind of abuse, this level that you're going through, is that we got to remember to love the adult who was that child that we would go save if we knew that story back then, right?
Right,
Because
because there's obviously a reason why we are married. Like he wasn't like this right out the gate all the time. I mean, there's a part of him that I
we're
have seen
sneaky
and I
fuckers.
know.
We're sneaky fuckers.
Well, yeah.
We don't even
You
know we're
cheat-
doing
you
it,
cheat
by
on
the
me
way,
from
half
day
the
one.
time. But let me turn it to Catherine
And
because
that's
Catherine lived through my abuse. So why don't we turn it to her for you here?
I have just one question. Do you
Yeah.
really not know that you're doing it? Because I feel like
don't.
he's trying to make me crazy.
No, he's not.
No, we don't. We actually.
He's the crazy one.
What-
What you need to remember when he's doing things, when he's saying things, is he's in his own reality that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
He's crazy, and he's trying to convince you to join him in the crazy.
Catherine
So does
realized
he
this.
want
Catherine
to-
figured this out.
Does he want
Yeah.
to manipulate you? Does he want to make you feel a certain way? Yes, but he's actually the one that's living in a different playing field. You're not.
And
so
I
if you
believe
join
that.
him,
I believe that, but I wasn't sure if is he intentionally doing this to me, or does he
well,
not
what kind of
realize he's
narcissist
doing
is he?
it?
How dangerous are we talking? Is he a sociopathic narcissist or a psychopathic narcissist? In which case, get the fuck out, leave. If he's
No,
not,
I don't believe. No, he's never physically, but he will say he weaponizes anything about me,
Okay.
words, personal, and he will go for the.
and do you react to
jugular.
that?
I try not to.
But you do, right?
I used to not, but now it's just like
Yeah.
it's that, or I want to haul off and freaking I want to physically hurt, like,
Yeah.
and I don't want to. I'm getting to that point, and that's where I'm like, okay, something's got to give.
Well, you're
And
getting
then
enmeshed.
an hour later,
You're-
he's apologizing.
He's apologizing?
Yeah, an hour later, apologizing, and within 30 minutes, if I don't agree or say something that he needs to hear or whatever, or I do something like very controlling, all of a sudden, next
Hey,
thing
listen,
you know,
listen. Hey, so you are involving yourself far too much in his behavior. You're owning his behavior. You're allowing him to affect you. Now, what the changes you need to make are not going to happen overnight. But just the sheer question, should I stay or should you leave? You are looking for validation. You are looking for someone to tell you what you need to do because you don't know. I don't blame you. But if you wanted to leave, you probably would have already left. You might want to leave, but something in you still has hope.
Yeah.
Something in you reminds you of that old guy that was a really good man. So I would say
I
it's not
got the
time to
papers
leave
that
yet.
I've gotten to the
Sarah,
courthouse,
Sarah,
and I
hey,
couldn't walk in.
Hey,
And couldn't walk in.
Sarah. You are very,
I'm
very quick.
listening.
Sarah, this is
I'm
one of your
listening.
problems.
Especially if you got a narc husband, you're gonna have to be a lot more curious, a lot more patient.
Sarah,
I'm here. Yes.
okay. You are
I apologize.
hypervigilant. Would you agree?
Oh, very much.
Okay. So when I'm speaking, I need to ask for a favor. I need you to just soak it in because I have lived through it and what you're going through is really, really shitty and I don't want to undermine it. But if you keep jumping in with telling me what's happening, I'm not going to be able to breathe wisdom into you. Would you agree with that?
Very much so, and I apologize.
You don't have to apologize. You just need to take a deep breath. Because if you are getting reactive with me, now you're not mistreating me in any way, but you're getting defensive about him. If you're doing that to me, I know for a fact that when you interact with him, you are completely losing yourself. Okay.
I don't recognize that self.
I know you don't. I've
Oh,
been
God.
there.
And you know what? His behavior amplifies your behavior.
But you can be in control of it. So here's what I think. I think that you want to stay, you want to see that light, you're wanting someone to tell you if you should go or if you should stay because you're so lost. But if you can shine the light on yourself, which is really tough because I had to do this in my own life as well, you need to identify the key pieces in you that are exacerbating the situation. Is it your fault that you're experiencing narcissistic abuse? Absolutely fucking not. It's not your fault. However, I can admit that I enabled his behavior. I don't enable it anymore. It took me a really long time to be able to learn how to do that, but now that I've learned it, I don't do it anymore. That's why we do what we do, so that you don't have to go through years of learning like I did.
But in that song that I wrote, You Love the Line, I said, because I talked about her not enabling my abuse in the way that I was, but by being my wife. That's how you did it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sarah, I want to empathize with the place that you're in right now, but you are allowing yourself to own. So I have this thing that I teach my clients. So that I think you're going to like this. I have a couple little things. So I have something called the crazy train. I've coined this term, the crazy train. And when you see your husband coming, you need to brace yourself and make sure that you don't get on the crazy train. And that's one theory. But when you see the crazy train coming, what I want you to do is I want you to put your husband in a box. When your husband's in the box, you want to picture him in a fucking padded box because he's nuts. Okay? You put him in his padded box. Don't get in the fucking box. You're in your own box. It has windows. It has air. You can look at your chickens in the backyard. You can see my chickens from your box. You just sit there and you're just enjoying your non-crazy life. Now, your husband is not crazy, but when you put him in that box, he's in the crazy box.
Or her son's being crazy.
Okay, my husband has to go check on our son. So when he's in that box, if you can empathize for a second and say, wow, now your husband is not crazy. He's narcissistic. But if you can say, it must suck to be crazy enough to be put in a padded box. Man, it must suck to be my husband right now. It's going to allow you to invoke the empathy. You don't have to defend yourself when your husband's in a box.
Okay, awesome.
He's in a
It's
box.
not towards the.
But the moment that you
that's
get
cute.
into that
not
box,
towards the TV. Okay,
ding,
and not
ding,
towards
ding.
the kitchen.
There's no referee in there. The fight's not over. False alarm. The fight just started. There's nobody to say ding, ding, ding. There's nobody to tap you out. You're both in the crazy padded box and you're both crazy. That's what happens to you when you join the person that is inflicting the narcissistic abuse. You become just as crazy as he is because you join him on his level, you join him in his reality, and then it's game over and it could be days before you recover. So in these moments when he's inflicting this narcissistic abuse on you, if you could take a step back, and I actually want you to picture him in a padded box with a fucking straitjacket on because it'll make you smile. It must suck to be as crazy as he is. It'll keep you out of his box. Because if you get in the box, it is fucking over.
I want to just.
And you're both crazy, and now it's your fault too.
I want to share something with you, some perspective, okay? And that is that I believe that all narcissists are what I call a nice guy. And that could be a nice girl too, okay? I just coach the nice guys. For some reason, that camera is like.
It's following me right now. It loves me. I move around and look at that. It just loves me. Look at that, guys.
But not all nice guys are narcissists. I don't know the extreme level, and we have to get to our next caller. I don't know the extreme and how extreme the abuse that you're going through is, but
it's pretty.
It sounds like it
so
probably
don't get in the
is.
box.
But the point is that
the box is chasing me.
well, the point is that if we remove the label, okay, so peel the label off, we know that a nice guy, and all narcissists are nice guys, and otherwise I'm just dealing with a nice guy, okay? We know that a nice guy or nice girl.
And nice guys are not nice. This is based on Robert Glover's book.
Dr.
No
Robert
More Mr.
Glover,
Nice Guy.
2003. No More Mr. Nice Guy.
He's not nice.
The point is he's nice until he's an asshole. Okay? So he loves and loves and loves, or she, guys, this could be a woman too, until they don't feel like, all their giving, all their acts of service, all of their intentional dropping everything for you, being available, everything they do to just love, you can do no wrong, until they feel like you don't try as hard. And that usually is surrounded by, you don't love them as much because you haven't met a certain need. Okay? They didn't get something they wanted.
Yeah.
Okay? And then they shut down until it boils and boils and boils until it becomes an all-night lecture talking about the issues, whatever the rage. I flipped Catherine out of beds for not talking to me.
But it can't be all night if you don't get in that box.
You see?
It cannot be an all-night lecture. It cannot be an hours and hours of berating if you don't get in the box. The minute that you lose your regulation and you don't have control anymore, you're no better than he is because you are in that box. I want you to actually pick, this has worked for hundreds of women. Picture him in the padded box And then I don't care what you say in your head.
I've
Catherine told me
put
not
him
to put
in
the
an
box.
actual padded box.
You've what?
You've actually put him in a
I
padded
laughed. I
box?
said, I've actually had him put into a padded box.
Well, just think of
Just think about that exact
think about
image
it
of
then.
that when
Picture
that's
him.
happening. And then remember that if he's in those 3 men that I described, that's why I always say, who's she supposed to love? Okay. Like he's in a triangle. Picture the 3 points. Okay. And that all that means is he doesn't feel good enough about him. The reason we were abusive is because
Oh,
we
he's extremely
needed
insecure.
it's complete insecurity. We don't feel strong enough or good enough about ourselves, and we end up depending on our partner. Right? We put this whole load on you to love, and that's why it's impossible to keep up with, because there is no way. We are the ceiling, but your ceiling, you can't get through it because we just keep putting more and more on you because you'll never be able to love. So,
And the reason they're putting more on you, he's putting more on you, is because you open your mouth and everything that you say
Is
is
wrong.
misconstrued.
you can't
It's wrong.
say it right.
No, you have to take a pause, take a breath,
Fucking A,
picture,
man.
affirm yourself, remind. So I was on the phone with Catherine. So Catherine told me to picture him in a box, picture him in the box. Don't get in that box.
And then you have to, when you're ready, ask the right questions. Go back to what we talked about in the beginning of the call, where, as by the way, we do this every week, 4 to 6 p.m. Central. But in the beginning of the call, we talked about like what it's like understanding. So you need to understand your husband, his reality. It's bullshit. I know it's distorted, but you need to understand it, or you can't figure out what he's feeling. Because when you understand what he's feeling, let's use something, for example, say you don't have enough sex with him. And that's just an easy example, okay? And he starts coming
It's a
after
very
you.
real example.
Okay, and he's
We
coming
know.
after you, he's coming after you, he's coming
So
after
real.
you, right? The reality is, his reality, he thinks it's because he wants sex, you don't. He needs sex, you don't. Why? Why?
don't want
the
him.
real root is you don't want him in his reality. What does that
Yeah,
feel
right.
like? If you want him to stop fucking narking out, get him to realize that must suck. Because you can't get anywhere. We don't address the real issue. But how can we address the real issue if you have somebody narking out on you, screaming about why they're not good enough? I mean, I would do naked fits, man. I literally pull out of Catherine and scream at her.
I wish
naked.
somebody taught me about putting him in a box a long time ago, because I would have seen things through a completely different lens.
And man, you get to go in the box a whole lot more. It's a lot more fun.
True.
All right, we got to get to our next caller.
Well,
but
I have to join your group because I get.
I would love it if
more,
you
but
did. Go to
thank you very much, you guys.
morrowmarriage.com and then click women and apply.
go to moralmarriage.com
I'm
and then
going
click
to.
women. I'll put the link in the chat for you if you want, and then we'll go to our
Yeah,
next.
I mean, I applied. I don't know if I have to just reschedule, but. I'll
Oh,
do
right.
whatever I
Yeah, you
gotta
did.
do,
You
so
did. Yes,
we'll
you have
get
to
Oh, yeah, that's right. I
You
have
know
to
what?
look in my
Did you
system.
get to our app,
Just
Moral?
text back. Just text the number
yeah,
back.
just text
It
it back, yeah,
said, do you
yeah.
need to say everything that I'm saying in the next 10 seconds?
Yeah, go.
Look for, I think if you type in White Picket Fence Project in your search, it'll say, hi, this is so-and-so from the White Picket Fence Project, or Morrow Marriage. Type it
I
in.
got you saved in my contacts.
Okay, it's a 214 area code. So text back
Yep.
that number and we'll rebook you. I'll book you in with me.
Excuse me.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
Sarah, it's our pleasure.
See you
Be
later.
blessed. Thank you. Bye-bye.
To answer your question, no, I don't have to say everything you're saying.
I could start repeating you. You have a lot of good things to say. I'll just start repeating you.
There's that edification affirmation you were talking about earlier. DJ, want to talk about rejection? What's going on, man? What's the actual question about rejection?
Okay, so I don't know. I think what I'm trying to get. I made a comment in there, but I read it and it didn't really make sense. It's basically our sex life, right? We've been through the ups and downs
Hey,
the last 2 years.
DJ, can you do
I've
me a
been
favor,
doing
please? DJ, can you do me a favor? Can you say the question and then we'll go for more context after?
Okay, so like when she doesn't want to talk about intimacy.
Hey,
ever.
DJ,
Um,
DJ, I'm trying to coach you right now. I'm trying to trick you into learning something here. Most people can't ask a question so they don't get where they want to go. What's the question, dude? And
Okay,
then
my
then we'll
question-
go for context. And by the way, if I was your wife right now, I think you don't listen, you don't see me, you don't hear me, because I had to ask you the same thing twice.
Okay, you're right.
I know, that's why I charge so much money.
Okay, what's the
Go,
question? What's
go,
the
go.
question?
So when I go to bed and we cuddle and she touches me and everything, she never really wants sex, but every now and then she will say, "Can you fuck me?" and I'll go to start touching her, and she'll say, I don't want to be touched. I just want you to fuck me and get it over with. My question is, I feel like I'm rejecting her when I say, okay, what is it that you need? She doesn't ever want to talk about what she needs. She just wants it to be done and over. And I never really.
Well, DJ, you're learning something right now that I learned the extreme hard way. I'm going to let Catherine go because.
I want to hear the rest of his question though.
Well, he's giving us context. So I asked for
the
question
context
3
is
times.
needed.
No, not yet.
So if okay, I'll ask the question to Catherine because it might, this is more probably your
DJ,
expertise.
spit the question out, buddy. Spit it out.
Okay. So if I ask her, if she asks me for sex, but she doesn't want me to touch her, I feel like I'm like crossing her boundaries, and I don't know if I should do it or if I should not.
Okay, pause before Catherine goes. Everybody, I want you to get this, especially clients who are on my Zoom calls, and we're trying to get you to just ask the question. See, we didn't need any of the other bullshit. We don't need to know the pizza. That was a beautiful question. It's a beautiful question, right?
If she tries to have sex with me, but she doesn't want to be touched, should I still have sex with her, or should I reject her because I want more?
Oh, it's me.
That's your
I learned
question.
this the hard
That was
way,
your
dude.
question.
So I'll let Catherine. She's the one who taught
Okay.
me. So go.
So I can see why you shared a lot about how you're feeling, right? You don't want to do it because you want more. So you said you feel like you're rejecting her. You might feel guilty because you're rejecting her because you're saying no because you want to touch her. Well, the beautiful thing is she probably, this is gonna hurt a little bit. She probably doesn't want to actually have sex with you, but she's having sex with you because she loves you. So she's
being
recognizing.
intentional.
She's being intentional. She's helping you fill a need that she knows you have. She doesn't want it to be any more intimate than it needs to be. Now, I'm projecting how I feel. Look, now the camera
No,
wants
it's
to be all
camera's
on you. Look at that. I don't want to project exactly how I feel, but I speak for a lot of women. I've worked with a lot of women. If she's saying, I want to have sex with you, but don't.
Sorry,
Oh, what's going on?
just showing on screen something I shouldn't have shown yet. Anyway,
If she's
It's usually
saying,
just-
I want to have sex with you, but please don't touch me, please take that as she's sacrificing herself for you. She wants to give you what you need. She wants to have sex with you. She wants to connect, but she might not want to be touched in areas that you want to touch, lick, or kiss her in. Because for a woman, having sex is very intimate. Being touched on all of our body is even more intimate. And I can speak as a woman who has been through this. Sometimes we have sex and he doesn't touch me at all because he knows that I've been touched out. We have kids, I have stress. I just don't want my body touched. But I still want to be with him. I still want to fuck my husband. I know my husband needs me. And in a way, when I do that for my husband, I need that too because it helps me connect. So if you tell her no, I would be very, very careful about telling her no because yes, you have every right to ask for more, but she's already compromising and giving you something that she knows that you need that she does not need in that moment probably. She doesn't just need the dick. When she needs you, you'll know it. When she wants to give herself to you, you'll know it. So she's trying to give herself to you. Can you ask for more? Absolutely. But should you reject her because she doesn't give it? I don't think you
DJ,
should.
before you go, I want to ask you a question. I'm going to preface it with this. In my program, I teach it. You're very careful for rejection, even when you want more. Okay, especially if a wife is intentional, because you're playing with fire. Ultimately, we want a passion-filled. I call it mad passion. We want a mad, passionate marriage. Okay, and so you have to be careful on this road to recovery because you're absolutely right. You want that foundational stuff. Otherwise, and if you don't lead correctly here, you're going to lose more of the foundation and the sex life will die. It will eventually go away. She won't want to be intentional as the next step, right? But she's already in that stage of get it over with. And she's actually a good wife. She's telling you, right? I have a song coming out called Get It Over With, actually. Not Get It Over With. It came out already. You guys go to YouTube already and hear it. She's not in love with you anymore. And it's like, God, please, can you get this over with? That's a painful thing for a woman to go through. So this
And
can
for a man to go through.
and for you, but this right now, I don't care about your feelings. I know I want to get you to where she cares about yours. So DJ, I want you to think about, go listen to that song, and I want you to think about what it's like for her and try to connect deeper for her on a level where she can explain that she is feeling like maybe guilty, ashamed, I don't know, trying to be there for you because she wants to be a good wife. You know, get her to talk about what's positive. That's foundationally what's part of what's missing for you and for her with where you're at. Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question. When you are intimate with her, is it she's saying I don't really necessarily want it, but like, are you? Oh, sorry, I didn't preface this properly. When you are intimate with you non-sexually, because she's saying she doesn't want to be with you sexually, but what are you guys doing with the talking, the laughing, the dreaming? Like, I have this whole rejection ladder. I work you down to ground floor, which is eggshells. What's the rest of your life like, dude?
She always thinks that that's all I want is sex and stuff, and I used to be like that a lot, but now I'm just kind of like, I try and build on it, you know, like if she says like, can we just talk real quick? And it's like, it's usually out of nowhere and I'm not really in the mindset there. So I tried like touch her face or kiss her or whatever. She's like, no, I just want you to just hurry and then be done. And it's like, okay.
Okay.
She's
And
trying
then
to
I'm
do
usually
a good
like,
thing.
I usually either do it or I'm like, I say like, we don't have to, like, you know, we don't have to do this, you know?
Yeah, she's trying to do a good thing. It comes
Yeah, oh,
across as
absolutely.
just get it over with. If she's saying just get it over with, then that's bad. But like Cass and I have been through that as well, where I'd be like, you want to go fuck real quick? And it wasn't because
Sorry. I'm trying to like find the album.
So Cass and I went through that where I would say, let's go do it. And then we would go do it. It wasn't because I needed to have him in that moment. Like I didn't just need to go fuck. Right. But I know that he needs it. And I know that I'm going to be tired at nighttime. I know that I want to still connect with him. I know that I love him. So that's what I would do. Now, I never said, let's go get it over with. Can you please hurry? I was intentional to not say
man
those
can
things.
feel
But
it
a man,
anyways,
but
though.
his wife is saying it.
Yeah.
So she's trying to be
But, like,
intentional, which is a good thing.
Absolutely, and I see that, and I see that, and I respect that, and that's kind of where I'm like, if I do go for it, then I'm just kind of in my own head, like, is she doing this for me? Because I don't want her to just be doing it for me.
Well, you don't have a choice.
Yeah, you don't.
'Cause she
That's
doesn't
where you're
wanna-
at right now.
She doesn't want to do it for her. She doesn't need sex. She wants to give you sex, so you should allow her to give you what it is that she knows that you need. Babe, do you want to talk about this, because we've
Yes.
been through this exact situation?
Yeah. So
I 100% did not need sex, but I knew my husband did, and so I would do the exact same thing. Quickies all the time, whenever I could. I knew I definitely didn't want to get hit on at nighttime because I was tired, and then I just didn't. I had zero interest in that, so I would have rather make sure that I fulfill some of his need. And now we know as women that is not actually what you need, but we're not capable of giving you the wild passion in those moments.
The whole point is you have to understand your wife is intentional. There's different stages. So this the rejection ladder I teach at the very ground level, okay, is the eggshells. What's the tension like when you walk in the room? Usually, guys, I would talk about this working backwards, but I'm just gonna walk you up it so you can identify where you're at, okay? But once you climb to the next rung on the ladder, okay, what's the day-to-day like? You know, if you have kids, are we scheduling them well? Are we figuring the things out? You know, are we getting things done around the house and talking about that, okay? What's that kind of conversation like? After that, we work up, okay? What's the non-sexual banter like in conversation? Let's take cameras going with my wife again. There we go. What's the non-sexual banter and wit and fun and whatever, right? What's that like? And then from there, we go up. What's the sexual flirting? By the way, there's touch in there too, okay? And then from there, we keep going up. What are the dates like, right? A lot of times I'll get somebody that's thinking like life is so good. Like I'll get a rich guy who's like, oh my gosh, we go on the most extravagant dates. What he means is we spend a lot of money on dates, but it's the same boring fucking shit all the time. I'll give you an example. I had somebody who spent a lot of money, worked with me for a year with him and his wife, and I worked with the wife even. And essentially they were spending a lot of time. They were actually trying to be creative, but like when I listened to about a couple of their dates, I was like, well, listen, my wife and I danced last night and flirted and sang, and my kids were giggling through the window looking at their parents and so much in love. And my wife was teasing me the whole night, not yet, no, not yet, right? And like they were like, oh no, we don't do that. And they realized they're just spending money on dates. They weren't fucking having a great connecting time, right? You go up from there. She is now intentional. She wants to be with you. It's your wife. Then she desires to desire. And then she desires. And once she desires, there's a ladder for sex, right? Like, I mean, first it's usually just a few positions or whatever. And then after that, you start to get to where you start to have a little bit more fun, more adventure, and eventually you get to like fucking crazy carnal sex. You know what I mean? Like where anything fucking goes. Like you want to try, like our life is like it's probably like a porno, like with the shit that we do is crazy. You know what I mean? But it took a long time to get there. How you get there is handling the rejection all the way up the ladder, number one, okay? Number two, meaning you can't take it personal, okay? You have to be able to realize this is just where you are as a result of everything you guys have been through, okay? That's it. You didn't know. You're reactive, you're defensive, you took everything personal. You know, like I'll give you something I teach in my courses, like if when you do reject her, for example, right? She might say to you, I really want to be there for you, whatever. You can say, hey, baby, you know what? I'm hornier on Tuesdays. Because today's Wednesday, man. That's a whole week. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like you reject, but you're careful when you reject, right? And I mean, there's so many other lessons. What's that?
I said that's a very good outlook right there. Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise you're going to do what Catherine said and you're going to take it. She wants to be a good wife. But you have to be the kind of man that breaks down what the real issues are. See, sex, no sex, sexless life going to shit, sexless marriage, all of that is a symptom of a lack of connection, a disconnect. That's why they talk about the wall in between you guys, right?
And she sometimes says, like, you know, I just don't want to be intimate at all, you know, and it's just like, well, that's fine, but I want to build that when she comes off. Like
okay, so we teach intimacy in a whole different light as well. Intimacy has its own ladder. See, people in society, they think intimacy equals sex. Intimacy is like, what are the conversations like? By the way, can you have a real conversation if you're not intimate with yourself? Right? Most of the time,
no.
we don't even know that we love ourselves. Like we're leaning on our partner. You guys have had tons of talks about this already. I already know without even talking to you, asking that question. You've talked about her doing it, but you wanting more, you want to feel more, right? You've talked about the quality of sex before that. You've talked about the lack of sex before that, right? That's why she's in guilt, shame mode, trying to be intentional, be a good wife, right? Well, intimacy requires you to not need her vagina to survive.
Yeah, and I'm understanding that, and I'm trying to build that intimacy before she wants to just fucking get it over with. Like, I'm trying to do that.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that. That's why I have a whole program that I teach. Like you walk all the way through all these steps. I'll give you an example. A lot of men will do dishes and chores and stuff around the house because they want their wife to notice them or they want their wife to have more free time, which means it's a covert contract, right? They're trying to get laid, right? When I would teach you, well, if your wife leaves you tomorrow, you still have to do the fucking dishes, man. So
and
why
I
would
used
that
to
turn?
be like that.
Yeah, a lot. I think most men go through a phase of it, right? And essentially, it's basically what we've learned through society. I have a whole lesson that I teach on society solutions. You know, another one would be I give. That's the I in society. It's all spelled out by society. They buy gifts. I had a guy, I don't know, 3 months ago on a phone call, wanted to join the program. Motherfucker spent $100,000 on a pickup truck because he wanted his wife to fucking love him more. Like, but that's a contract. That's an invisible contract, right? You either want to buy her a gift or you don't. And I was that man. I would lose my shit because Catherine didn't say thank you right. Can you believe that? That's why everything I teach is just stuff that I've been through. You know what I mean? And so if you want those deeper levels, you have to focus on the whole man. The whole man, right? Like, if you're having conversations, let me give you an example here. You're talking about sex. I'll use yours, okay? Or let's say any problem that you have. I used at the beginning of the call today, she says, I would like it if you didn't work as much. When you're talking about symptoms, you will never address the issues. Without the issues, you have no foundation. So that's why when people try to recreate the spark, when in your situation, when you weren't getting laid, you're trying to recreate the spark, right? You now are realizing, fuck, I wanted to create foundation, kindling. I can't have a fire. There's no point to have a spark, right? Now you're realizing, fuck, I missed the intimacy on other levels. See, the problem is we're not taught how to be men and women in a relationship. We have to learn how, and we have to acknowledge that we don't know how, and there's not a lot of people that know how. In fact, I feel like we're the only ones. That's because nobody else is as open and transparent. There might be more, but they're not as real as we are, so I can't validate them. I can't appreciate that might be real. They might say something I would say, but if you want more foundation, then you're a good man. And you're past the part where you just want to get fucked. Now we got to get her to want the foundation as well. And she's going to reject you, man. And you got to deal with that rejection in a manly way.
And she does it. I don't want to say reject, but she does say, you know, she's not in the mood, and I respect that.
I don't mean
It's
that.
more-
No. You know, you're talking about intimacy being just sex. You're not learning already. I talk about intimacy being more. What if she rejects you because you're trying to talk to her, but she's sitting there and she's got her phone out and she won't look up to you, man? That's rejection.
Yeah.
What if you say, hey, baby, I want to go on a date? And she says, no, I don't want to. And she goes out with her friends. That's rejection. Rejection isn't just sex. Rejection is every single thing you do. Does she actually engage when you flirt, non-sexual or sexual? That's rejection.
Yes.
Unless you get the level of engagement that should come with. If you make a joke with your buddies and they don't laugh, that doesn't mean it's rejection. But if they look at you like you're an idiot, that's rejection. Right? The moment you take rejection personally, you're fucked. Now you depend on your partner to survive and you can't create the foundation.
Yeah, so I just need to work on building that foundation, and if she wants it in the moment, then I don't reject her. I just do it and just right, like I shouldn't feel bad about it.
No, you shouldn't. But you should also realize that you're maybe not doing the right thing if you say no. You got to be able to be the kind of man that just moves it forward. Like, I'm actually good right now. You know what I mean? But you do that 2-3 times in a row and you're that dude that's not fucking his wife. And you start to shut down because you want more. You start to cope because you want more. You're not leading. You're leading to the life you don't want because you do want to have sex with your wife. You just want something more connected. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to reject her.
No.
See, if I was when I was in your shoes, I had to get myself to a certain point where I said, this isn't going to work for me, Ben. But see, if you do that now, she doesn't respect you enough for wanting more. She doesn't even want to look up from her phone half the time. So why would you, like, you're pushing on a boundary here. And that doesn't work if she doesn't respect you. Man or woman. More bullshit society will teach you. Boundaries work. No, they don't. Because you haven't shown up. You're not valuable enough. Right?
Right.
That's okay.
Okay.
Just dive in, man. You following for a while? You on our podcast? Guys, by the way, 1-888-968-5635. I need to call in the queue, man, because my wife is going to come back out and she's going to get fucking like, well, I'm getting tired. So if there's no call, so let's go. All right. Are you into the podcast? You've been following for a while. You on our app?
Yeah, I follow your content a lot, and I did have your app, but for some reason, like life got in the way, and for some reason, like kicked me out or something. But I do follow your content a lot, and I'm a huge fan.
Well,
and,
jump back in the app. The only reason we would have kicked somebody out, if like you said it, you didn't say me, I kicked you out, but only reason would be if you're talking to another chick, and I don't get that impression if you want your wife. So.
No, absolutely. No,
yeah.
I'm fully committed. I
Yeah.
mean, I fully committed. I'm just trying to repair things. I think she's seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the intimacy part. You know, I'm trying to talk to her about intimacy. She never does. And
yeah, but you can't. Do you feel like that's a productive conversation when you have it? Like, does it feel good to talk about bad shit? I'm gonna break away from relationship for a second. Let's say you're struggling with the economy's tough right now for a lot of people with this war going on. Okay, so let's just say you're one of those people affected. Do you feel like it's a productive conversation and you get anywhere complaining about your fears with what's happening financially? No, but what you do feel good about is when you fucking make a step and take a step and make a move and get more money in your account. What's the fucking difference?
Yeah.
It's the same with your wife. Don't talk about shit. That's one of my songs coming out. Don't talk about this with your wife. Don't. Just fucking don't. It's just going to destroy it. All you do is lay guilt and shame down. Turns into blame and defensiveness on you, blaming her. And this goes for anybody trying to have sex and their partner not wanting them, man or woman. The moment you create negative, you've removed the opportunity to create positive. You're literally wasting your fucking time. And you also don't feel good having that conversation. But again, most of you think of the symptom as the thing you need to talk about. What's the issue? Connect and fuck. My wife is going to go crazy if she's connected, if we're getting along, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to as a man, if I'm not an insecure little bitch, if I'm not fucking blaming, guilting, shaming, creating negative. Why? Because my wife also is like the rest of the world, including you all listening, that she wants to be happy, joyful, excited, not feeling like shit. I'm pretty sure there isn't a person on the planet that doesn't want that. It's a choice to choose positive over negative. And most of us get sucked into our partner, crazy train or sad train or insecure train or whatever the fuck train, instead of just being, when you call me and the first thing I'll say on the phone, no matter what, my daughter, Briar, mentioned this earlier today, honey. She was like, I was on the phone with, they said, how are you? I said, best day of my life. Briar said, you always say that, Dua. I said, yeah, because it's the best day of my life, girls, best day of yours. See, most people don't create joy. They sit in their pain. Stop talking about sex with your wife. Unless it's like you guys are excited and you guys are talking about the fun, crazy shit you want to do. You know
It's
what I mean?
usually like
Again,
jokes
most
and
women
stuff.
don't
If she's
actually want to
laughing,
talk
then
about
I'll flirt and stuff. But I try not to
Mike.
talk about it anymore.
No, there's no try. There's no try. Address the issues. Okay? I'm going to grab the next call, buddy. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thanks a lot.
You got it. You're welcome. David, once a cheater, always a cheater. I saw your comment in the chat earlier. Welcome to Moral Marriage Podcast Live, dude. I'm glad that you got on here. I want to say this, dude. Doesn't matter what the label is, David, they're going to tell you that you can't change. I got off the plane coming home from Africa trying to find God, and a woman was crying because somebody for the whole flight was telling her she was going to be an alcoholic forever. I wrote a song called Peel the Label Off because I was a narcissist, and everybody tells everybody narcissists can't change. Bullshit, David. Let's talk about you, buddy. Why would you ask? Why would you say? I want you to say it out loud, man. I'm not a fucking cheater.
Not a fucking cheater.
Not a fucking cheater. You made a mistake, hey? Tell me your story.
I was online, and for some weird reason, I thought it was a good idea that I could put emojis and flirty little stickers on people's pictures and stuff, and people that I knew. And
Whoa. So, David, you didn't even go all the way. You just, that's.
I mean,
call
a lot
that
of the stickers
betrayal.
are like,
No, I think
try not
it's
to,
still
I try not to
cheating.
belittle what I did.
But it's still cheating. I call that betrayal. I say you don't
It's
have to fuck
betrayal.
someone to
Did
cheat
you
on
have
your
an
wife.
affair?
But did you have a physical affair?
No, sir.
And so was it more extensive talking, David, or was it emojis on someone's shit?
It was like emojis on stuff, and it happened. It was like 2 or 3 times that I would go in and put a couple pictures on.
What do you mean pictures?
I mean, excuse me, emojis on her
pictures.
pictures.
Emojis. Okay, and I'm not downplaying that because I don't condone that. That even.
But you don't get to say once a cheater, always a cheater for that.
Especially that is. Are you
I
being
just see
labeled
the
for
effect
cheating?
I just see the effect it's had on her, and she's so distraught and so like insecure now, and
I
I
would be
just want to
too.
be able to move forward.
Yeah, cool. I
And,
get that. But
So there's something called the cascade to betrayal, and you are on it. What you were doing is definitely on that cascade, and it gives her every right to feel that way. But it didn't stem from nothing; it stemmed from something. So I don't want to, condone what you were doing, but you didn't have an affair. She did catch it on time. Even if you didn't catch it and she caught it, yes, she's going to feel insecure, and it is a shitty thing to do. I'm glad that you feel shitty about it. You didn't say that, but obviously you're calling in, so you feel shitty.
Well,
I'm assuming.
I just want to validate. I'm trying to validate her.
Oh yeah, you
how
fucked up.
she feels.
yes,
You fucked
good.
up.
And-
But so I think the bigger issue is where this behavior came from. Because
Actually,
when you-
I have a question first though.
Okay, go
Is
ahead.
it you
Yes, sir.
saying once a cheater, always a cheater? Because society says that exact expression, and I mean, it could be that you've been influenced by that. Because your social media is getting inundated, or is it her saying that to you right now?
It's not specifically her saying it, but I've just everywhere I've looked around trying to research and see like what my problem is. Like, why would I think that that was an appropriate behavior? And everywhere I look, it's just like once a cheater, always a cheater.
Oh,
And I'm
fuck,
like,
man. Okay, so
great. Everywhere I go, I'm like, I'm going to be a scumbag for the rest of my life now.
Oh my gosh, no, you're not gonna be a scumbag. Oh my gosh, you poor guy. Okay, I mean, I was a full-blown narcissist, man. Okay, like I emotionally, physically, sexually assaulted Catherine. In everyone's eyes that doesn't have hope or want hope, they get mad at Catherine for staying with me. Okay,
I get trashed for my
Catherine
husband's
gets
behavior.
trashed because of who I used to be. Now, a victim man will also trash me. I had a guy on a call last night who, I mean, I'm positive he was high as fuck on drugs, and he couldn't answer a question I asked 4 times, 4 different ways, right? And that's a man who's hiding behind a label. Once a drug user, always a drug user, meaning he couldn't even tell me. He was so ashamed. Like, I'm the last person that can judge. The very fact that you are feeling so, this is,
You're just.
I can't wait for you to hear the song Peel the Label Off,
standing in
David.
my
I can't
bed.
wait for you to hear it. It's going to fucking
I
rev
got
you
you
up.
guys
It's going to be your,
YouTube, I got your YouTube channel right up here now.
Oh,
I actually just
perfect.
saved your, I just saved your list here.
I love it, man. When Peel the Label's not coming out for a minute, but I'm doing a new song every day. But when you hear Peel the Label, that's going to be your fucking anthem, dude. I'm so jazzed up right now because I get so revved up when people talk about the fact that you can't change. The whole fucking reason that we have a 1.5 million followers and we've done so fucking well is because people can change. We're proof.
I definitely want to change. I want to change. I want her to see that I want to change, and I don't want to tell her I'm going to change. I want to show her.
Yes, sir. You got it. You don't tell her. Show,
You know?
don't tell.
I can't tell her. She's going to have to see through my actions, and I hate that I've like. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
That's okay. This is how you release the shame.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who's watching and listening, this is how you release the shame. The reason I no longer feel bad for who I used to be is because I'm not that fucking dude. It starts with talking about it, admitting it, letting the tears flow. Not
I'm really
necessarily.
trying to get her to see that I'm sincere, and I think I'm not sure how to get her to. And I
Okay.
don't want to like say, oh, please just listen, because you're going to be aggressive, and she's going to be like, dude, just get the fuck away from me, you know?
No, dude. You just need to listen.
Because you
to her
sound
right now.
desperate
Yeah.
when
you
you
just-
and you know that.
Exactly.
That's why
Nobody
you're
wants
not
to
doing
say-
it. Yeah.
No, you just need to listen to her right now. She's hurting. Guys, insecurity is a fucking bridge. We talk about this almost every week. We talk about this daily on our coaching calls. Insecurity is a bridge. Nobody has ever talked about this before in my knowledge in the world. But what I learned and what I realized, not through our marriage actually, and reflecting back after helping 8,000 people in our programs in 4 years, I learned that when insecurity is involved, which is pretty much in every relationship, a certain degree, a certain level, there's probably a scale, a spectrum we could create here to show this. But like, excuse me, when you have to understand is she's just hurting, she's scared, she loves you. So there's no need to be defensive. There's no need to worry. There's no need to explain yourself. What you need to do is be there for her in the moment that she's feeling insecure. You need to listen, not fix. You need to empathize and understand. And it's going to feel redundant because the person, she feels like she needs an apology. An apology doesn't heal. So she wants that more and more and more. But actually, she wants the behavior to change. So as long as you become someone new, your behavior changes. As long as you start to be the kind of person that doesn't make, see, a lot of times people make a mistake and then they make similar mistakes later. No, the behavior has to change. Nothing can support that anymore. But then the trust won't be there yet. So you're still going to have to let them feel. And dude, the amount of guilt and shame you feel is because you love her, not because you did the worst thing on the planet. And even if you did the worst thing on the planet, you could still want more for yourself. But what you have to do is step 2, and that's understand why you did it. Do you know why?
Without
I was
blaming.
trying to do that because I didn't want to like, I try not to make it seem like I feel bad about the whole situation. I don't want her to make it seem like it's about me. So I try to, on my own, I just did like one of those like childhood trauma things, and I've been trying to seek out to the BetterHelp online counseling.
Yeah, but we don't have to make this so hard, man.
I just want to make sure
What were
I'm
you feeling when you looked at that post? What were you feeling when you
What were
looked
you
at that
needing?
post? What were you needing when you wanted to reach out and connect in the smallest of ways? I'm not downplaying your
Oh
thing
no,
you did,
absolutely
but
not. I
but
understand.
you were obviously
I've
feeling
tried to
something
assess-
powerful to at least send an emoji at whatever. You can also tell us what the post was if you want.
It was just a profile picture. It wasn't anything lewd or anything inappropriate. It was just a normal profile picture. But I put like it was like a Discord.
Oh, what word?
Discord.
Discord. Oh,
Yeah.
on Discord. Okay, so you liked the profile
Yes,
picture
sir.
on Discord. And
Yeah,
what was
and I
the
put a bunch of
emoji?
the emojis. The emojis are like the sexy
Which-
face and the heart eyes and stupid stuff like that.
Oh,
Was it just
okay.
one picture that you did?
It was a couple of different times.
So
and
go back in the moment. Immerse yourself in the moment for a second. What were you feeling? What did you like about the picture?
I can't even like. I've tried to sit and think about it and like.
So then go deeper. Then
I-
what were you hoping to happen when you liked the picture?
I don't even know.
So
This is why I'm having such a hard time. Like, is
this is
something wrong with me? Like,
no, there's nothing.
There's nothing wrong with
you.
you. No, there's nothing
No.
wrong with you. You're sitting in so much shame right now. So we're asking these questions because a lot of people will do this. They'll go like a picture because they're, you know how some people go playing games online? They'll play some
Yeah.
of those like Facebook games, or they'll go
Like they do
gamble.
Xbox and shit.
Yeah, don't knock this off. I have a cute little bug on my leg. It's really cute.
Oh, you're petting it.
Yeah,
too. That's
petting
my
it.
wife,
Look
guys.
at that cute
Petting
little
the
bug
bug.
on my leg. Don't smack it off if you see it. Anyway, so some people will go play games, some people will go gamble, some people will just scroll through social media. So there's a void that you're filling when you do that. So for me, I look at animal rescue videos. That's like when I go look at those, I know that I'm going to feel relief. I'm going to be able to get out sadness. I've reflected on this a lot, so I know why I watch it. I want to have hope. I want to feel the sadness, get out my tears. There's all kinds of things that I'm going to experience by watching things that I know the effect, right? Because there's also happy videos where I get to celebrate with these animals that are. Speaking of the little bug on my leg that I'm petting, right? Like I love animals, and so for you,
Ryan would have lost his shit all insecure.
if I'm petting a little beetle, he's been on
Okay,
me for like the last 10 minutes now. My husband would have been so jealous a few years ago. So when you're looking at these things, you're looking at women, and so is it like are you looking for a response because your wife isn't responding? And now you can't blame it on your wife for not responding, but maybe it's
she's
called a
very
bid for.
attentive.
She's very attentive.
They're very. That's why I'm having such a hard time. I don't understand.
Well, let me ask a
She's
different line
so
of questioning
attentive.
then. Let me ask.
She treats me like a king.
Okay, so do you feel like you're connected in your relationship? You just made a stupid mistake. Like you guys are
I
actually doing
do.
well.
Mm-hmm.
You were
at the
doing
moment,
well.
We were doing well until I screwed up.
Now,
and
but when
she
you
tried
say
to-
well, I mean it. Like we describe it like you are either enemies,
I want to
frenemies.
marry this girl.
Okay,
Like,
hold on. I want to
uh,
know where you're at. Your enemies, your frenemies, your roommates, your business partners, or your superpower couple. Where are you at?
Like in the beginning, we were probably power
No,
couple.
no.
I
Before
think
this
I know
happened,
what's happening here.
I think I do. I just want to hear what he has
Okay.
to say.
Okay.
Where are you? Are you like, because people say they're good, but sometimes there's a lot missing when they say they're good, meaning they're roommates, or they can get along well, but we're still missing intimacy. We're business partners, right? Like, or it's
Yeah.
actually business partners. There's lots of intimacy. We're just not having sex, and then
we
there's
were
superpower.
very intimate.
Okay,
There's never
sexual.
intimacy has never been an
Sexual
issue.
and
I think I know
intimacy.
what's going on.
I know exactly, but I'll hear you.
I think
your
that
perspective.
society tells you that you can do whatever you want, that you can look and it's okay. And I think that until you did look and now your future wife expressed that it's not okay, you just thought, I'm going to do what everybody else does. I'm going to do what I've always done. And you got away with it for a long time, because I bet you that you put these type of emojis on other people's profiles in the past, but nobody called you out. You didn't get in trouble. Now that you're getting in trouble for it, you're having to reflect on it, and you're having to say, oh my gosh, that hurt someone else. I never thought it would hurt someone else. Of course it hurt her. What the fuck is wrong with me? So I think you thought it was okay. And now that you are reflecting on it, you know absolutely it's not. But it wasn't until you had outside influence of the person that you love the most telling you that it wasn't okay that now you're like, holy fuck, how did I not know this? That's why you're saying, is there something wrong with me?
Hold up. How much is that true? Because that'll change what I was going to say.
Honestly, that really kind of. I didn't really think of it as like a cheating thing. Like, she's like, you're cheating, and I'm like, I didn't have sex with anybody. What are you talking about?
And go back to
I'm
her
like, I didn't even
part.
touch no one.
the part where she said, "You probably did this before, but no one's ever called you out on it before." Like even before her. Social media's been around for a long time.
Because it's socially acceptable. I know
yeah,
women
I've
I know
always done
married women
emojis on people's stuff.
that look at
Absolutely.
other men
I mean,
and they'll say, "You can look at other men other than your husband," and I'm like, "No, I can't."
So would you do the same type of thing, like a pretty girl? I think is the impression I got.
In the
this was?
past?
In the past, before your wife,
um,
or before your
yeah.
is it your fiance or your
Yeah,
girlfriend?
Yeah.
I mean, it was,
See, he just
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
know because society teaches people that it's okay
Yeah,
to look.
it's okay to look. They'll say, especially they'll
This
talk
is
about
what
men.
happened. So
As
no,
long
there's
as I'm not-
nothing
you
wrong
can
with
look
you.
at your
Society
human
has
touch.
trained you.
Yeah, so you've just been trained wrong. man.
Society
Yeah.
trained you to think that it's okay, and now that it hurts someone else, now you're like, "Holy fuck, how did I not know?" So now it's your opportunity to make a change, and it's your opportunity to show up. You just didn't know.
Dude, I teach.
Some people don't actually know what's right and what's wrong
David,
because
how-
you don't know because
how-
everybody else does it.
How old are you, David?
I'm 44.
You're 44. Okay, I was 38 when I started to grow up. That's what I call it. I say men and women were or are expected to be. Men and women are expected to be men and women in a relationship, and we've never been taught how. You're going off of some behaviors that earlier we talked about, and Catherine actually backed a guy up saying he might not know it's okay. She wasn't endorsing or condoning this, by the way. He may not know it's okay that he's looking at porn, Instagram messaging, trying to swing. And I call bullshit. I think we all know. But I think that in reality, of course not. You don't know what you don't know until you've been taught. And you are an exact example of what Catherine was talking about. Where if you never had somebody say that, that's not acceptable.
And nobody cared.
Nobody
the
told
woman
you.
you have now cares
and she
so
told you.
much.
Yeah.
The women that you had in the past didn't give a fuck that you looked at other women because they were looking at other men. The woman that you have right now is not looking at other men. So she's bringing her core values into your relationship, which is a blessing. You should actually go and thank her for giving you a verbal
yeah.
tongue lashing. Thank you so much for getting angry at me for doing that.
Yeah,
I've gotten away with this for so long, and I didn't know it was a problem because everybody else did the same thing. I talked
Don't
to
say
Cass
the
and
because.
Catherine.
Don't say
Sure, don't say because.
Don't defend.
But
Yeah.
thank her for
You-
teaching you this lesson because now you know how hurtful this is because nobody in your past gave a shit. They let you look and do whatever you wanted, and they were doing whatever they wanted. But if the woman that you're with right now, you probably never thought about it before, if she was doing that and putting emojis on other people's photos, now knowing how hurtful that could be, wouldn't
Yeah,
that
some
rip your
dude with
heart
a
out? You want to
six-pack,
marry.
You'd be all upset, right?
Oh,
Some dude's
yeah.
standing with a car nicer than yours, you'd be all upset,
Thank her
right?
for enlightening you because now you're starting to embody the core values that we embody, which looking is not innocent. It's never just looking. So now you know that not only can you not comment, you should actually go unfollow all those people because you shouldn't even be looking. If you have the desire to comment or to even look, get rid of it.
Just did.
You're a good man. You're
Good.
holding
And then
shame
don't
because
defend
someone
yourself.
brought it to your attention. So thank her, go fix it, and then move forward in the amazing core values that now you have a new conviction in your heart. This is beautiful. I
Make-
love this so much.
Make
for
sure
you.
that you watch this back again because I want you to go back and remember what's going to happen when she starts to feel insecure. Because after a while, you're like, you'll say, well, but I deleted, I even unfollowed them. I don't follow anybody like that anymore. And you're like,
Yep.
that's just the
Thank you
bullshit that
for
won't work.
showing me what I was doing wrong. I can't even believe that that's the man I used to be.
Now this will probably happen in the same conversation because you guys are not that disconnected yet. But what I want you to think about, David, is when she finally asks you, where are you coming from with this? That's when you tie in what Catherine was talking about, where you're like, I actually never knew. This is not defensive if they ask. I just didn't know. I realized after talking to Cass and Catherine that oh my gosh, like this is betrayal.
And deep
know?
down, you knew, but society taught you that it was fine because that's the exact words that when you said, what is wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? It's because you're recognizing, oh my gosh, how did I do this and not know? That's such,
Care
it's
about her,
so
and I
good.
can't believe that I've disrespected
so
her. You know what I
good.
mean? I don't want her to think that
Well,
you
you need to
horrible
stop.
person.
You need to stop talking like that. Now.
But it's so good now. You should just be so grateful that you've been enlightened because not everybody thinks the way that you're thinking. And yes, it took you 44 years, but you have this beautiful woman that showed you that you should have tunnel vision for her. Now you get to actually do it. It doesn't matter what society tells you. It matters what that beautiful woman wants and what you want. And the best part is that you actually want the same thing, is that you just needed to have guardrails on. And you'll never fuck up again. I think that listening to the way that you're speaking, I think that you like literally had ding, light bulb go off, and you're just not going to do it anymore. So she's also very lucky, but she's not going to see that. She's going to see it as you being a piece of shit. So you need to prove to her that you're not. But she's actually a very lucky woman as well. Because most men would justify their actions, which you probably did in defensiveness, but now you get to scale it back and you just say, thank you. Thank you, baby. I can't even believe what an idiot I was. I did what everybody else does, and I want something extraordinary. I don't want the average. Thank you for bringing me above average. Thank you for bringing me to extraordinary.
Yeah,
we
but
can be a
but hold
superpower
on.
couple.
She's super passionate. She loves this whole story and she loves where it's going. You're saying thank you like 19 times. Stop. Don't do that. Okay.
No, just say thank you once or twice.
Once.
I'm just
maximum
trying to
twice.
instill it into you so that you're grateful.
Okay. Do you follow?
Yes.
Now, there's one last thing, and guys, we only have about 10 minutes left. If you want to get your question answered, 1-888-968-5635. Otherwise, we will end early because I have a wife. Oh, there's some calls in the queue. I'm just gonna say this last thing for you, dude. Even though society taught you wrong, there's a part of you that was looking for some form of validation. Okay.
Yes.
And so that would mean that you might be trying to compensate for something that's missing in your relationship, but more than likely it would actually be I'd call that a symptom. The real issue would be whatever issues you have from fear of abandonment, your mommy and daddy not being great, like whatever the fuck, like you not feeling good enough about yourself is what I'm talking about. Okay? So we often cope with a way to disengage, or we cope with a way to engage. One, the disengage might be like alcohol or drugs to remove yourself from the reality that you don't feel good, or two, go find it. And so that's the deep, deep issue that you have to address. That's what we'd be addressing with what I do with my work, my core work. But you need to peel your label off and you need to identify who's the man under the label. Okay?
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so very much.
Yeah,
thanks
you're
for
very
calling in.
welcome,
It's our
dude.
pleasure. Good luck.
Kick ass,
Thank
man.
Go get that wife.
Go get your wife.
I'm gonna.
Ready.
Thank you guys.
You
You're
got it.
welcome.
See ya.
Bye.
Oh, they're terminated calls. Damn it. All right, guys, that's it. We just we thought the call was done here, but because there was 2 calls in queue,
Nobody
but
called in, guys.
nobody called in. So you got about 1 minute before I'm gonna go take my wife. Go hang out with my wife.
Oh, my little pet just flew away. That means the call. I had a little beetle, you guys, crawling on me. It was big. It was like the size of like a fingernail. It was just like crawling up and down my leg. I was petting it. It seemed to really enjoy it. And then as soon as he said the call was over, he flew away.
Hold on. How teachable? What a teachable moment right now. How many people would get upset because I said, "Okay, I'm gonna hang up in 1 minute. Go take my wife. Go hang out with my wife." Oh, so hang out, yeah. And then she didn't hear it. She went right to the beetle that she's been really enthralled in for the last 20 minutes.
I heard it.
But didn't acknowledge it.
No, didn't acknowledge it.
My point is, how many
We get
times do we
pissed
take
off.
things so personal? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to. That's who I used to be.
Yes.
But all right, guys. Well, no call, no queue. It's been almost 2 hours. My wife does not like doing 2 hours of live. She doesn't like the camera.
You guys have 30 seconds to call in.
30 seconds. And 1-888-968-5635. And then the new song "Invisible to You" drops in I think 6 minutes.
These songs are really good, you guys. You need to hear what my husband's been writing.
This song
They're
is
really good.
It's written from a man's perspective. Thanks, baby. It's written from a man's perspective about the things that I did wrong.
That kiss was for not answering you when you said you were going to go take your wife.
Oh.
I was like, kiss, take, kiss, kiss.
Invisible to You. Yeah, it's gonna hit a lot of women who are feeling like their husband only wants to. Well, he thinks he's doing enough because he's providing, and so I think it's gonna hit a lot of guys home. Do a new song every single day. I'm fucking excited. I don't know if I'll do it every single day forever, but right now I wrote 25 songs. I'm fucking these
He's
are
on fire.
good. Yeah, these songs are good.
Yeah. Well,
Because the
guys.
marriage coach turned songwriter. Who knew? Oh, our team sending over pictures, gangster cast, like for if I do rap, and like
Picture
ukulele,
of him
polka,
with an accordion.
accordion. That's what it is.
So funny.
Oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
Good, you
There's a
guys.
DJ one. Yeah, it was hilarious. But guys,
We'll see you next week.
see you next week. Every week, 4 to 6 p.m. Well, 4 till you stop calling.
4 to 5:53 if you don't call in.
4 to when you stop calling p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys. See you later.
Central Daylight Time.
Oh, that's why I usually I just